Hey, what's up, everybody? Ryan from Sports Card Radio. That's right. It's been a few weeks, maybe even a month or so, since there has been an R-rated podcast found exclusively on Sports Card Radio. I have been knee-deep selling NFL football tickets for the last 6 weeks. That's right. Even the preseason NFL can be extremely lucrative, because imagine this. Just think about it in terms of, I'll put it into a baseball card context. Imagine if, maybe you owned a store or you sold cards and people gave you $20 to $40 cards that they thought were worthless or were worthless to them. Maybe they're opening a box and they're like, they keep the main hits, but they give you these $20 parallel cards that they think are worthless, that they have no interest in. That's basically NFL preseason. Everybody thinks that NFL preseason football tickets are worthless and that nobody goes. And in some sense, that is accurate. But if you do watch NFL preseason, there are people in the stands. Presumably they paid something to get in. And even some of the good tickets in the stadium can sell for a reasonable sum. And so NFL preseason, now that it's over, I guess I can talk about this a little more freely. But NFL preseason, it can be one of the more lucrative times for me, but not quite as lucrative as last week was. I literally had maybe my second or third biggest week ever. And I don't know about you guys, but I haven't had a real job since 2009. So every dime that I have made has been, conjured up by some kind of business activity, either websites or flipping stuff, either on Amazon or eBay or sports tickets. So to have my second or third biggest week ever, I'm not going to lie, freely went and took the victory lap and stayed 2 nights in Vegas at a suite at the Vidara and just hung out a little bit because don't be afraid. Guys, if you're out there, and whether you have a real job or you're on your own hustling, don't ever be afraid to make money. For fuck's sake. Don't be embarrassed about it. Don't feel guilty about it. Don't start a business if you're not prepared to make money. What defines success as a business? Think about that. What defines success? How many shoes you gave to fucking homeless people in Africa? Hey, that's maybe a real nice thing. And most of the time, that's actually just a PR thing that companies do to help them make more money. What defines success as a business is how much money you make. So I had my second or third biggest week ever scalping football tickets. Scalping anything. Huge week. So huge, in fact, that I can't give away too many trade secrets, but at some point they kind of tap you out on these tickets. And I even had to call the host of the Sports Card Show podcast, Colin. Some of you might listen to his podcast as well. I'm sure you do. I even had to call him one morning. I saw a game early. Basically, how you make a lot of money is you see a game early. I saw a game early. I maxed out on the tickets I was able to buy and called my brother and was like, hey, you do like making money, right? So, let's just say the amount of money he made would have been a good or maybe really good week for me. The money he made. So it was a great week. I'm going to take about 4 more victory laps maybe on this podcast. But because it was such a great week, that's why we can have a podcast. Because I'm not going to fucking do shit this week. Most of the teams that I can make some money on are out of town, or the matchup isn't very good, or they've been losing. And I'm going to take a break for a week, follow the league a little bit. It's nice to have saw a game early and known that there was going to be some demand for some tickets in advance, because that's how I was able to make quite a bit of money on that game. And some other games, it was just sheer hustle and opportunity. And here's the funny fucking thing about it. It is so much easier selling these tickets this year. They've integrated Ticketmaster, StubHub, SeatGeek, all the fucking sites into one. So selling these tickets across all the platforms is so much easier this year. I'm not dealing with PDFs. I'm more dealing with emailing people tickets and barcodes and things like that. It is so much easier to manage, and just the accountability and paper trail behind the ticket. I mean, it is so much easier. We're talking about less hours, less stress, and wow. So excited about all that. So excited. Again, probably 3 more victory laps are coming in the podcast. But we're on the show to talk about some sports card topics, and this is going to be the feel good, R-rated sports card show. We're not going to we're going to even turn the phone notifications on the phone off, so that just in case some crazy athlete signs, something in auto pen, we're not going to talk about that until the next show, because this is going to be the feel good show, since we are just loving life over here in beautiful Tempe, Arizona. Probably my favorite place I've ever been. So, topics today. I'm ready to fucking party. Well, so is Topps. The Topps Transcendent fucking Party was announced. And drumroll please, because if I couldn't get even more excited. The first year with Chris Bryant, it was in Henderson, not Las Vegas, Nevada. And I attended that. There's probably a podcast out there with me discussing that. Last year, it was in cold Atlanta, Georgia, in January with Hank Aaron. And if I wasn't too lazy from scalping football tickets the last 6 weeks, I would queue up probably some discussion on this show, me saying, wow, it would be really great if they held this party before spring training in Arizona. Well, sometimes dreams and wishes do come true, because this party will be held prior to spring training in Scottsdale, fucking Arizona, which just happens to be 15 minutes down the road from myself. So again, another backflip done here over at the R-rated podcast studio. So excited. And if you're not pumped about that, the special guest this year, the first year was Mr. Chris Bryant. Last year, the legend, the Hall of Famer, Hank Henry Aaron. And this year, maybe the best player in all of baseball, and one of the certainly beloved by sports card fans worldwide, Mr. Mike Trout. So that is very excited. He's been often speculated that maybe he would be, like last year, there was speculation that he would be the guest. And looks like this year, indeed, Mr. Mike Trout will be the guest at the Topps Transcendent Party. This party will be held in late February in Scottsdale, closer to the start of spring training. In addition to this, the Topps Industry Summit is a couple days later, or around the time of the Transcendent Party. So if you're able to come to the Transcendent Party, you should come out to the Topps Summit. Or if you can't make the party, because that'll be a little bit more of an upfront investment in some sense, you could come out to the Topps Summit, because I believe that's only like $300 or something, or it's certainly more affordable. Catch some baseball games maybe, or stay and catch some baseball games. The first week is really great to come out to spring training, because not a lot of fans are here. Hopefully the weather, sometimes it can still be a little spotty weather-wise here, but good time to come out. That's always when I would come out before I moved here. I would always come out in the first week and get into games hella cheap, kind of get there early before any type of crazy crowds. But so, guys, this is super exciting. Again, Topps Transcendent Party, Scottsdale, Arizona. Mike Trout is the guest. The Top Summit is a couple days later. I don't want to, I'm so bad. I could tell you what you're going to pay to get into any NFL game and where you should buy your tickets and so on and so forth. I'm pretty bad about predicting sports card pricing. We're seeing a lot of manipulation too in the market. So what are these passes going to go for? I have no idea. I think at least $4,000 to $5,000. If you're thinking about coming, plan on spending at least $4,000 to $5,000 for a pass. That would be my best advice. And it could go up from there. Although there is a longer window to sell these passes this year. I know there was some extra boxes. There was somebody, a friend of the show, who actually was keeping track of all the cases that were being opened of Transcendent. There was one guy who opened, I believe, 10 personal cases. So this isn't just a pure group. Actually, there might have been almost as many personal cases opened as there were group breaks last year. A lot of one dude I think had 10 or 16 personal cases of Transcendent. So that's a lot of money to spend. And these were, he really liked the sketch baseballs, which I think they took out this year actually in the product. You could go to your favorite sports card site of choice, Beckett or wherever, Cardboard Connection, wherever you want to go to find information, I'm sure, about this set and what's inside. I think new this year, inside the boxes of Transcendent, you get a 1952 autographed superfractor of somebody in the set. So, and a Trout 101 and there's some little extra bonuses this year. But again, if you're planning on coming out to this party, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who want to meet Mike Trout and stay for spring training. It's going to be, and the Top Summit is a couple days away. There's going to be a lot of dealers who will just come out for the party and stay for the summit as well. So there could be a little bit of demand for this, for a pass. I'm going to definitely get aggressive and try to get a pass early. I'm going to offer up more than, like, if Blowout is offering 5,000, I'm going to offer 5,500, and honestly probably sweeten the pot a little bit, interview you on the show, or give you some kind of publicity if you want it, or something, some added incentive. And I might even place like a bounty, like give a finder's fee for somebody to find me a pass as well, because I kind of want to just lock in one pass. And even if more passes become available, or there's not quite as much demand, I could always dollar cost down and buy a second pass, because I think my brother wants to come out as well. So we're probably looking for 2 passes, and we might even have to call up Southern Hobby and just buy a whole box for $25,000 or something, and do something like that. So we got a little while to think about that. They just solicited that. I believe it comes out. I'm sure it's not going to come out until December. The last 2 years it's come out in December, so got a little time to think about it. But there you go. Super excited. And again, last year, literally, I almost didn't get a pass. So yes, I want to go. Yes, I will pay at least $5,000 to $6,000 for a pass. Right now, I would if they would just sell me one for $5,000 or $6,000, I would literally buy one. So I don't know what these passes are going to sell for. And there might be the WrestleMania now at the National. There might be the WrestleMania Transcendent Party just a couple months later, because I think WrestleMania is like in March or April or somewhere. So in New York or something. So there's supposed to be a WrestleMania Transcendent Party next year. Could be back-to-back parties with Topps. So wow, very excited. And if that isn't exciting enough, guess what you'll have the opportunity to do if you either come to the Transcendent Party, or then, just going to roll this over into the Top Summit. You're going to have an opportunity to party Tempe and Las Vegas style with your host, We might have to sign some NDAs before we do this, but you're going to have an opportunity to blow some Cali smoke and, drinks of your choice with said host. I do live in an area with quite a few nightlife establishments, literally right out the door. So while not quite as vibrant or as exciting as my time on the Las Vegas Strip, living out here in Tempe next to Arizona State University, certainly lots of nightlife opportunities. Right on Mill Avenue, if anybody's familiar with ASU out here. So, Transcendent Party, Topps Summit, and partying with your host in February in Arizona. And to top it all off, some spring training baseball starts as well. Wow. I personally cannot wait until late February. Wow, that's going to be exciting. So you will definitely see me, as long as these passes don't get too crazy, you're going to see me at the Transcendent Party. You'll definitely see me at that Top Summit, and I'll be all over those spring training games. And come on out and hang out with your host. Certainly a good time if you're on the fence about doing that. Moving on. 2 other sports card topics I want to talk about, and we're just going to keep it rolling here. Might be a short show. Collector's Universe stock, that is PSA, okay? They do coin grading, and they do, obviously, if you're listening to the show, they do cards as well. I posted on Facebook that I bought some Collector's Universe stock. It's the first time. We've often talked about them on the show. And I even correctly predicted that they were going to cut their dividend in half last year, which they did. The stock subsequently tanked. And after I went to the PSA lunch at the National and just kind of thinking about it, and then they came out with their year-end, was it 10Q or whatever the fuck it's called? I read most of that. I was like, I think there's an opportunity here to buy, because right now the coin business is so soft because the economy is so good. Not a lot of people are thinking about investing in gold and silver. The U.S. Mint isn't cranking out a lot of stuff right now, and they have a thing with China where they're minting coins there. They had an exclusive that they actually just stopped there. The coin business is a little weird, but they're seeing some growth in China, but even there was a little slowdown in China. So the coin business is softening. That's why the stock is a little soft, even though, as everybody probably knows who listens to the show, the grading card business, I mean, they're stacked to the rooftops there in Southern California with stuff to grade. People, they're hiring people left and right to try to keep up with this business. The sports card business, even though the coin grading business is a little soft right now. So, and the funny thing, if you follow this stock and you kind of read the people who kind of write about it, or you just kind of read the financials and stuff, you'll realize that the coin business is much more followed and much more important to people who follow the company than the baseball card business is. The baseball card business is seen as kind of cyclical, and it's more expensive to grade sports cards than it is coins. For some reason, they've narrowed that out as well, and there's not a lot of growth seen in baseball cards. Although, I mean, they've had about 8 quarters of growth in PSA, which is incredible. Think about that. 28 quarters of growth. I mean, that's spans years and years and years. If I was good at math, I could tell you how many quarters that was, but I'm talking about years, 8 years. So I thought it was a good time to buy. And one, if you're thinking about getting into the stock, a good time to buy is actually after they pay out their quarterly dividend, because you naturally get a dipped down in price after they pay that out, because you have funds that just capture dividends, or some people that get their dividend and they sell the stock. or they buy the stock right before to capture the dividend. So after the dividend pays out, after that payout day, you always see a decline in the stock, or certainly most stocks that pay out a dividend. That's a good time to buy it. And I know I got in at like 13.11, but I was going to make several different orders. I think it's all the way up to like 15 now or something. But personally, what I'm trying to get more. I'm thinking about getting more, and I think you could look at it two ways. If you see continued growth in sports cards, that's good for the stock. If you see a downturn in the economy, that's going to return investors and people looking at gold and silver. That's going to increase the price of gold and silver. That's going to increase the price of said coins, or really valuable coins. And that's going to increase people's interest in grading coins and seeing if they have something valuable. The same way as people right now are looking at their baseball cards and thinking, man, this might be really valuable. I should get it evaluated or graded by PSA or BGS or whoever. So I think people aren't really doing that with their coins right now, because it's pretty easy to make money. You could go get a job. You could scout football tickets. You could sell shit on Amazon. You could fucking, come up with probably 99 different ways to make money right now, if need be. You should be. You should be able to, depending where you live in the country, you should be able to find some. Again, you could scout fucking football tickets if you have an internet connection and a computer. Maybe even you could do it all off your phone. It'd be difficult, but you probably need a desktop computer and an internet connection, and you can make thousands and thousands to thousands of dollars per day. So someday I'm going to fucking just sell an ebook. I'm going to quit selling tickets, and I'm just going to sell an ebook for $1,000 a pop and just tell people how to do it. Maybe that's what I'll do next year. But again, so Collector's Universe stock, I have some. I'm looking to buy more, actually, kind of tracking the price and seeing maybe if we get a dip, or maybe I'll have to wait actually a little bit. I kind of want to pay in the, 13, 14 range, I guess, but I might have to reevaluate what I want to pay, because I kind of want to stack up maybe a couple hundred shares of it, spend a few thousand, and why not? I think it's a good idea. I think the people are going to continue to send in cards, and if you get any downturn in the economy, it's almost like a little hedge, because then all of a sudden gold and silver goes up, and I guarantee you that stock goes up. Like stocks could go down, like the economy could turn down, and Collector's Universe stock could actually go up, and it's still paying you 18 cents a share per quarter. So you're getting, what is that? Oh my God, I'm so bad at math. 72 cents. It's 72 cents a year per share right now if they don't cut it. I don't know. So there you go. Oh, last one other topic here. We talked about previous shows about the Topps company being for sale, and at the National, the general manager of Topps during the Topps meet and greet said the card business was not for sale, but the candy business was going through a process, so forth. And if you remember, you'd have to have a pretty sharp memory for this, but if you remember back in, was this February? Rumors that Topps is for sale. There's the article on Bloomberg. Well, somebody showed me a video of a investor media guy, Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. Essentially on a YouTube video talking to a former founder of Topps. And I mean, if you know anything about this guy kind of shares his whole life and, out to the world. He literally is talking on the phone with somebody saying, I almost bought Topps. This is all on YouTube. And this is a guy who has the means to buy something like Topps. So certainly interesting. I don't think I'd ever really heard of this guy, so I started to kind of follow this guy and mostly on Twitter and research him a little bit. Well, a couple months, and he was even at the National. I didn't see him, but which just sucks. I wish I would have ran into him. But he was even at the National, and some people saw him and talked to him and stuff. But he's been selling. It's funny. He's been selling cards, and he credits if you're not familiar, he credits his business success to flipping baseball cards in the 1980s as a kid at card shows. And he was on Twitter the other day, kind of selling some cards and stuff, and he buys cards, and he's starting to get active again in cards. Again, he according to him on his own YouTube channel, he almost bought Topps. So, anyways, he started following me on. I was following him, and then he followed me on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's fucking crazy." And one thing that I'm always struck by, I'm always shocked with cards is, I've talked to newspaper reporters, I've met athletes, I've met, really kind of famous people in the media kind of world, and talked to them on the phone and so forth about baseball cards over the years. And I'm sitting there one day, and then it says, "You got a direct message from Gary Vaynerchuk." And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? This is crazy. So I can't say what he contacted me about, actually, because I promised him I wouldn't. But I did, after we got done kind of texting back and forth what we were talking about, I was like, so now that I'm talking to you, are you interested in buying Topps? And so I'll kind of paraphrase a little bit, I guess, what he said. He says long term, it's definitely a possibility. He loves sports cards. He loves the business, and he really wants to learn everything that there is about the industry and the business and collectors and kind of the nuances of sports cards and stuff. So there you go. Definitely interested. And I don't know if I put the question to him as Topps or any card company. So I think he would have interest in, really, frankly, any card company if the time was right, and maybe and he kind of put it as more of a long-term kind of play for him. So don't be surprised if over the years, again, we're talking about Gary V again, and perhaps in the context of getting or owning a sports card company, which would be pretty exciting, because, again, this guy's pretty fucking accessible. When he reached out to me, again, the shock when I was sitting here, probably with a fucking 500 football tickets to sell, and then you're like, what the fuck? Who just direct messaged me? Like, oh my God, this is crazy. Moving on, last topic, got my Pearl Jam Wrigley Field trading cards. I was so bummed out that I did not get to go see Pearl Jam. I had fucking tickets to Missoula, Montana. I had a hotel, I had a flight, I had everything. But it was during the second week of the fucking NFL preseason. And it sounds crazy, but the NFL preseason is one of the best. The last week is always really bad because they start those games on Thursday. But the first fucking 3 weeks are some of the best weeks I'll ever have. So it just didn't. And the concert was on Monday. I could have flown in, but I would have had to been buying tickets. And then fucking getting to there would have been no problem. Getting out of there is a fucking bitch and a half. It would have ended up being 2-3 days, and again, during a huge NFL week for me. So super bummed I didn't get to go see him. Crushed. But I did buy a box at the Seattle shows and the Wrigley Field shows. They've done this in the past. They sell fucking Pearl Jam trading cards. And this year's design was like 1990-91 NBA hoops, if you remember that set. And, it's got all the band and fucking sticker card per pack. And so I bought a whole box, 48 packs. I think 48 packs for, I think it was like 260. I think it was like about $5 a pack, which I think they're either 2 for $5 or they're $5 each. I think paid about what they cost because I bought some before. I have some of the 2013 ones. I got there too late. I was going to buy a whole box. They do. I think right in the beginning, they'll let you buy a whole box for like $250 maybe. I'd have to look like what they were. This was in 2013. And I only got there and I was able to get like 2 or 3 packs. It was like some of the last ones they had. The lines for these fucking Pearl Jam merchandise are just around the corner. 1, because fans want them. And then 2, yes, there's a resale value for this stuff. Now, I don't know if this guy made money on these packs. I don't really give a shit. And I might even get on there and buy the Fenway Park ones or some of the Seattle ones. I think there was some Fenway ones too. I think I might buy some more, maybe not a full box, but I just kind of want some packs. These I'm going to keep sealed. I'm not going to open it. I'm just going to kind of keep the box myself, but super excited. That shows up. It kind of made me realize what people feel like when they get something they like, maybe from Topps or Panini, because I don't buy any of that fucking shit. If you haven't listened too close, I don't buy boxes of cards and sit here and open them and fucking geek out about them. It's just not something I do. But when this Pearl Jam shit showed up, I was like, oh man, this is like exactly what people feel like. They get the box and they're just like, I was just like so excited. So I'm definitely probably going to get on. I had the second biggest week I ever fucking had. So we can afford to go on and probably buy some more Pearl Jam cards this week and kick back and relax. But that's all I got. 30 minutes. Just wanted to, this is one of the few times I had to actually jump on here. We do have some interviews coming up. Here's the thing with those interviews. I need to prepare for them a little bit. Like we want to bring on Val and talk about NASCAR. We want to bring on Suze, who's employed at Topps. That's something I actually want to sit down and prepare for. I might have some time this week to do it, and maybe even next week to record. So I got to reach out to them actually, and first of all, and can't promise anything until I reach out to them and see if they even want to do it and can. So, but look for those. Those will probably be the next thing we do, barring any more good news or bad news in the sports card world. But take it easy. Hope you're on. Check out my card. Hey, better be on checking my cards, buying all that Lakers shit, because I know I'm on there. I probably got a couple hundred Lonzo cards. I'll post on Facebook right before the NBA season everybody I bought and how many rookie cards I have of them going into the season, just so it's out there in full view who over the summer I went heavy on. Here's the fucking good thing. My brother called me. I was starting to run out of money on checking my cards, and my brother called me. He's like, hey, we got this account with like $300 on it, fucking, or whatever. I was like, fucking $300. And we had a bunch of cards to sell. I was like, motherfucker, give me the password to that shit. That $300 is going to be gone like fucking 2 days. But I've been buying, a bunch of the Lakers guys, and a couple, Jonathan Isaac, De'Aaron Fox, Harry Giles, all the Lakers guys, Hart, Ingram, Ball, Kuzma. So, been just loading up on those guys on a couple different accounts. So, if you see an offer on checking my cards, hit me up, man. Just accept it. Damn, just hit accept. Just whatever you do, hit accept. Anyways, take it easy. Go NFL. Man, feels good.